Bet you guys didn't know that today was an extremely sacred day, did ya? You thought it was just a regular-ass day in the end of August? Getting ready for back to school and ending of summer and such? No! No, it's a flippity sacred day today. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Several reasons. There's so many. Literally, I wrote a whole 2 pages of this. On this sacred day today. Okay, so A number 1. Today's the full moon. This day, August 19th. But it's way more than that. It is a super blue moon. This means super, the super part, means that it's just in its closest position to Earth in its orbit as it's full, meaning it's gonna look bigger and brighter in the sky. The blue part, you know the term once in a blue moon. Do you know what that actually means? It means 2 full moons in the same season or calendar month, either one of those. And so this is our second full moon in the season of Leo. Yes? Is it also... Hold on, let me think for a second. No, I don't think that's the second one in August, but in the season of Leo, which started the 23rd of July. Anyways, so there's that. And it's also, for me, this is significant for me, and maybe for other astrologers, the fact that it's a full moon in Aquarius, immediately following the new moon we just had in Leo. That is significant to me because they are sister signs, meaning they're opposites on the astrological wheel. Not only are they sister signs, but they are also my rising and sun sign. So it means a lot to me personally, the Leo and Aquarius axis there. And it's also the only full moon in Aquarius this year of 2024. Bruh. That actually really shook me when I found that out. You know what else is crazy? Holy shit, as I'm saying this, my ADHD brain. In the month previous to this, we had another blue moon we had a full moon in Capricorn. And then I'm pretty sure we had that new moon was Aquarius. I'm almost certain. Maybe I'm wrong. No, it was Cancer. I'm lying to myself. And then we had another full moon in that same month in Capricorn as well. So it wasn't in Aquarius like I thought, but it's still significant that we're having these back-to-back supermoons. That's cool. And as we're talking about this Leo-Aquarius axis here going on, another fun fact is that Mercury is currently retrograde. It's been, I don't remember exactly which day it started, but it's been retrograde, so it didn't just start today. But it's in Leo right now. It's in flippity Leo, okay? So this Aquarius and Leo axis is very important. And another flippity thing. So I've been diving, and I don't want to say deep diving because I know I could go way further if I really push myself, but I'm just dabbling healthily and dancing around with Hinduism and all these different concepts of the Hindu culture. And today is a very beautiful and sacred festival today. They call it Raksha Bandhan. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Raksha Bandhan. There we go. Or it can be abbreviated to Rakhi for short. Now what this is, I wrote it all down because I love this Hindu stuff. I'm so serious. It's taking over my life in the best way possible. Anyways, it is a sacred Hindu festival that embodies the family value of, I don't know what this word actually means, I'm going to be honest with you, filial responsibility. Now just wait, let me keep reading, and you'll likely fill in the dots like I did, because I don't know what filial means. I don't. Anyways, an ancient tradition of honoring the relationship between a brother and sister, and their vow to protect each other. During the annual celebration, sisters tie a rakhi, aka a bracelet, with 3 threads to symbolize the sacred love of brother and sister. This is a celebration of brotherhood, love, and protection. So basically what I gathered from my research on that is that the sister ties this bracelet with the 3 strands, symbolizing sacred love, I suppose. I wish I had actually done a little bit more research so I knew exactly what each strand represented, because I want to know this stuff. But anyways, just for you guys, not everyone wants to know all that stuff, right? The sister ties the bracelet around the brother as a symbol of, spiritual protection, I guess, in a sense, because she's, imbuing her divine feminine unconditional love and spiritual protection into that bracelet, which is therefore then energetically protecting the brother. And he vows to protect her physically, right? From the evils of the world in a physical manner. And what else was I going to say about this? Oh, and I also found out too that this bracelet and this the tying of that bracelet and stuff isn't only for brother and sister, although that's what this festival specifically is focusing on, is this brotherly, sisterly love. But the Rakhi itself is just a sign of divine unconditional love, sacred pureness, kind of, I guess, in a sense. So it can be given to anybody. It can be given to your lover, it can be given to friends, other family members, your children, not only brothers and sisters. But for this festival, that's kind of what they focus on. And one last fun fact about this flippity cool full moon today. This full moon peaks almost exactly a month prior to the upcoming lunar eclipse on September 18th, bruh. Which, okay, like, duh, obviously you're gonna have a full moon almost exactly a month away from another full moon. Oh, shades, who would've flippity thunk? No, that's not the important part. The important part is the eclipse, bruh. The eclipse that's coming up. And it says some astrologers predict that news that is destined to arrive around the upcoming eclipse could be delivered earlier on this auspicious day. Reaching its peak at 2:26 p.m. on August 19th, 2024, and will appear full for 3 sacred days as we enter into the season of Virgo. Virgo starts on August 23rd. So literally on the third day I'm gonna cry. On the third day of this full moon, which is a special day for me. I don't know why, I don't know about you other witches, but if any of you do full moon rituals every month, I often find myself doing it on the third day. Not every single time, and I always have the goal and intention to do it on the first day, but I just have noticed as I'm looking through my sacred book here, of all my flippity rituals and stuff, that I often find myself doing it on day 3, and I think it's just because the first day is often like super energetically intense, and so I personally like to work with slightly more subtle energies just so that they don't get out of control. Because the thing is, like, just like when you're working with the Fae or genies or anything, you know, they say you have to be very mindful of your words. Well, it's the same thing when you're doing rituals, because it's about the intention, right? But it's also about the words themselves. Like, words literally are spells. That is true. That's why they call it spelling. And so, you know, your intention can be great, but if you're using certain words, I don't know. I just don't like to risk it. It just feels to me a little bit, unless I have it completely down packed. Like this month, I am going to do it on the full moon. And I'll tell you one thing I have noticed. Anytime I do it on the actual first day of the full moon is a time when I'm releasing a specific habit. I have done several times. This upcoming will be my 4th time, I believe, or 5th, doing a 30-day tea break. And I started on the full moon And fun fact, that's also how I quit nicotine. Way long ago, I used to smoke cigarettes, back when I was like in high school and stuff, and for a lot of years, and then I gradually transferred to vaping, and surprise, surprise, it's not any better. It's not. It's really not. For one, here's the reason I quit these things, and also with the tea break as well. I don't like anything to have power over me. It irks me. It really does. And that's anything. That's people, society, my own destructive habits. I don't like anything to have control over me. It pisses me off. And if you've ever been addicted to nicotine, you know that it literally controls your life. It really fucking does. And vaping doesn't make it any different. Like, honestly, I found myself way more irrational when I would lose my vape. Like, everyone cracks jokes about it, and like the memes are funny, but it's actually true, and I did not like it. Like, I would actually find myself throwing a literal tantrum if I lost my vape and couldn't find it. Or like, if I was completely out and didn't have money to get a new vape. Like, it was just ridiculous behavior that I like really had to look at myself and be like, tighten up. Like, what the F? So anyways, full moon releasing rituals, the best time for it. At least for me, it's worked every single time. Every single time that I release a bad habit or a destructive behavior on the full moon, to me, it's like, at that point, I've made a pact with the universe, and I can't go back on it. I do it almost like a deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, yo, universe, I'll quit this destructive thing. Can you please bring me this thing? You know what I'm saying? It's literally an exchange. And it doesn't come through as quickly as I always hope. but it literally does so every single time. And I just thought that I would maybe share a little bit. It's a full moon. Any full moon is releasing every single time for me. People work with it differently, but for me, the full moon is releasing and the new moon is setting intentions. New moons are usually when I do my spell jars. Full moons is when I do petition and burn it in the fire. I also usually do, I like to do Reiki sessions on both if I can, or really anytime ever, because I love doing Reiki sessions. So here's what I do for the full moon ritual. I already wrote down what my petition is, aka what I want to release and what I want to write and burn. I wrote it in my sacred book though, so I'm gonna have to rewrite it onto a small page. And also, just for anybody that's into like baby witchcraft, small pages be for real, because paper is so smoky and you can have a scary time or unpleasant time if you burn a big piece of paper. Or like when I first started, there was times that I did like regular notebook pages and like several of them and like folded it up, and it was just a pain in the ass, and the smoke alarm went off. So yeah, that was my very first ritual ever that I did, and it was kind of scary because of that happened, and I wasn't really sure if I was allowed to leave the circle and all these kinds of things. It was I mean, looking back, it's funny, but in the moment I was like, oh, what have I done? So yeah, small papers, small teeny little, like those teeny little, hold on, like if you've got a little notebook that's like this big, teeny little one, those would be perfect to write down your petition and then burn it in some kind of fire. It can be a candle, it can be an actual fire, it can even be the motherfucking stovetop. It doesn't matter. Just burn it up, and as it's burning, you wanna, everyone's different. So whether you visualize with your mind, whether you like to feel it in your body, everybody's different. So whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel the most empowered, I suppose, or where you can tap into it the most. You can either visualize it burning away into the universe, or you can like feel it sizzling away from you, releasing in your heart whatever you're talking about, releasing whatever you want to release, and really just kind of sitting after that, just sitting with the feeling of what it would feel like when that's actually out of your life. Does that make sense? Like, what in my example that I was just giving about, when I was addicted to nicotine, I visualized like what would my life look and feel like if I didn't have this constantly, over my head all the time. So sit in that for a while, and then I like to end it with a cleansing bath or shower. Now you can also begin the ritual with a cleansing bath or shower. Everybody's different, and I mean every ritual is different too. Like on the new moon, I would probably do the bath first, if I'm honest, or the shower first, if I'm honest. Like, it just, everything within the spiritual realm and witchcraft and stuff really is whatever is best for you. And that's honestly what drew me initially towards witchcraft in the first place, other than the fact that I like to play with fire and always used to make mud pie spells as a kid and things like this. Other than those things and the aesthetic of it, but the practicality aspect of it, I loved the freedom, the absolute freedom, and the whole, like, within every religion itself is a confine. It's got rules, it's got regulations. I don't fully like that. Okay? I like the freedom of not whatever I want to do just in like a reckless, crazy sense, but like whatever feels right to me. If something feels right to me, I want the capability to be able to utilize that and not have to feel shame or guilt within myself because it's going against some kind of fucking standard of the religion that I follow. I don't like that. So that's what really, really, really led me to witchcraft in the first place. And that's why for a baby witch, it's sometimes hard, because as a baby witch, you just want somebody to teach you the ways, and it's like, you have to teach yourself, in a sense. Like, you can learn some of the fundamentals, like, full moon for releasing, new moon for bringing in, these kinds of things. You can learn those fundamentals, but your craft is your craft, and every witch is different. Every practitioner is different. Every psychic, gifted person, empath, I mean, it's just different names for the same energy, right? But everyone's different, and things work differently for everybody, so honor that, okay? Anyways, I'm sorry for getting a little aggressive, so let me just share my petition. It's kind of a long one. And I'm kind of nervous because I've only ever shared this kind of stuff personally one time. I feel vulnerable. I feel vulnerable to share this with you, but I also am safe, I've just told. So I'm just gonna tell you. Like a real flippity witch. This is what I wrote. I call upon Ma Kali, Lord Shiva, and Kalki, the great destroyers, and Goddess Parvati, the mother goddess of love, fertility, abundance, and nourishment, to stand beside me, on this sacred, rocky, super full moon in Aquarius. And I humbly ask for energetic support in the releasing and transmutation of all that is not serving me, the collective, and the highest good. Highest and greatest good, my bad. I ask for divine protection and loving guidance on this upcoming portion of my personal journey in ascension and healing of the sacred shadow. I ask for you to help me to see what is veiled and to unconditionally love all aspects of self and source. I willingly offer to you in devotion to source and to self within my soul's mission, a vice, or what I perceived as a level of, comfort through my trials and tribulations. This sacred herb has become a crutch rather than a stepping ladder to higher realms as it was once for me. And I allow myself to shed this belief and this habit in exchange for that which is meant for me in being divinely led to me as we speak. I surrender myself completely to the will of Source, Creator, God, the universe, now. Ashe, Namaste, and so it is. So yeah, and then I just wrote, write on a small paper and burn, take a cleansing bath shower, and focus on feeling it being washed away, step out fresh, new, and open to God. What do I mean by that? Okay, here's what I mean. The other day, I called upon Archangel Michael to come in and use his flaming sword and cut off anything that's not serving me. And listen, I just have to be completely honest with you guys. Sometimes, actually most times, when we say something like that, like I am ready to release what is no longer serving me, we're thinking only about the obvious things, such as like my past nicotine addiction, but it really can be so much more than that, and it can be, often is, things that we are clinging to. So it's like, you know, we'll go to Source, Spirit, God, whatever you want to call the universe, and say, please help me, you know, get rid of all that's making me sick on an energetic level, right? Not realizing that the friendships and connections that we have built our entire life are built on an unhealthy foundation. And it's not to say that every person in the world is just unhealthy, I mean, which they kind of are, but it's not like, I'm not saying that in a sense of like, you're bad people, bad. No. Everyone's been taught these unhealthy things, and so the whole society is unhealthy because it's what is expected. The government can make money off sick people. Duh! They don't want you to be healthy, okay? So I'm not saying that people are bad, but what I am saying is, as the person who's over here, you know, with these intentions of like, I need to get rid of all that's like not good for me energetically, and then we're surprised when we lose everything that we've been clutching onto, right? So I just want to bring a little bit of awareness to that. Like, expect that we don't know best. We don't. We have free will, and so we have to be the ones to make the choice to say these things of like, or to do these things of releasing these, you know, negative patterns, behaviors, whatever it is. It can even just be a thought, you know, a mindset, right? Or a way of thinking, or speaking to yourself. It doesn't always have to be externally, but it's things that have been ingrained, and that we're very used to, and used to equals comfort in our subconscious mind, even if it's unhealthy, even if it's not safe, even if it's not good for you. Our subconscious registers that as safety because we have survived it. So it's programmed to keep you alive. God knows best, better than we do, and sometimes it hurts, a lot of times, and it may seem confusing, but if I can help, I would love to help take the confusing part away, because then, I mean, it's still uncomfortable, and it still can hurt, you know, as you, sometimes you have to go no contact with your family, sometimes you have to up and leave, sometimes you have to quit your job that you've worked at forever, sometimes you know what I mean, there's these things that, like, you've held on to for so long that, you know, it's registered as safety, but really it's destructing you, and you can't see that yet. Trust it, okay? Trust the process. And even when it's painful, guess what? Feel the pain. That's your job. When it's painful, feel it. Feel the pain. Oh yeah, that kind of actually leads me into my next thing. Right along with that. Okay, so I have had some personal insecurities popping up where I thought that I had already faced and healed. And it turns out that I still have work to do, which is okay, because healing is not a linear process. It's cylindrical, okay? It goes in spirals like this. That's why we often find ourselves in these, like, it seems like loops, but really, you know, looking at it from above, it looks like it's just going like this in a circle. But when you look at it from the side, you can see that it's not in a circle, it's going up each time you're spiraling, healing, going up to the next level. So I have been kind of walking you guys through this part 2 of my really deep dive into shadow work. And I had left off on these unhealthy habits. Wow, do you see how everything comes together? Unhealthy habits that I found myself partaking in, and I, you know, got to the root cause of it and some high vibe ways to fulfill that, right? And then I had these insecurities pop up in my personal life. And so I thought, you know what? I think it's time that I just write them out. Because guess what? It doesn't feel good to feel insecure. Especially when you're somebody who is on this path, and it's like, once you shed your physical ego, you kind of get a spiritual ego at first, of like, if I'm on this path of ascension and healing, and I'm, you know, perceiving myself as this leader, guide, teacher through these processes, I feel as though I should not have to partake in them myself. This is so silly. You see, as I'm saying it out loud, it's like, that's a silly thought to have. Because obviously, how can you teach something if you've never partaken in it? Poser! I'm looking at myself like a poser right now because I'm still having to go through these things, but like, if I didn't have to go through these things and I was talking about it, that's the poser, you silly girl. I just kissed my brain. You should do that. Anytime you feel proud of yourself, or you did something good, kiss your own brain. And your heart too, because it feels good. Okay, anyways. So, this next part. I did a page called Where I'm Lacking. And then on the side I just put insecurities. Okay, so here we go. I feel like I'm not special, insignificant, replaceable. Wondering why I'm not good enough for what I deserve. Oh god, I don't want to go there. My body pouch. I love my body, I do. But my body pouch hurts my feelings when I'm naked. Feeling like I'm never prepared enough for my dreams. Feeling like a peasant, a poor person, a bum. Feeling small or lesser than when I'm around very talented or successful people. Too woo-woo for this world at this time. Wondering if I'm... No, I can't say that. I literally can't even say that out loud. Okay, I'm gonna... Wondering if I'm a bad mom. Because my kids live with their dad right now because I'm homeless. I know I'm not a bad mom, but sometimes it feels that way. Okay. Am I a psychic or a lunatic? Let's see. Reacting emotionally, impulsively, self-sabotaging, victim mindset, low-key, with a little wink. Toxic positivity, question mark? Do I run from my problems? My underarms are flabby, so I just wrote out every single thing that, like, I feel insecure about in myself. Okay? Appearing more confident than I actually truly feel. Jealousy. That's one. Jealousy. I'm not jealous very often, okay? But I just got jealous recently and it didn't feel good. Okay. So then the next page I put, see this? Where I'm packing. And then I put inner security. Did you notice that? Look, how this one on this page where I'm lacking was insecurities, right? Where I'm packing is my inner security. Oh, I love how that sounds, and it made me feel good. Okay. Pure-hearted, have the best intentions for all. Bow. Funny, but in a healthy, pure way, even with dark humor. Let's see. Love fully and unconditionally to all. Yeah. Don't hold grudges. Mentally petty. Very emotionally intelligent. I can see shadow and light. Let's see. Connect with anyone with ease. Deeply. Galamandea, I'm that kind of person that I go to the grocery store and my cashier starts telling me their life story. I'm here for it. Get it off your chest, baby. I am the healer of healers. That's the next one. Healer of healers. Naturally heal with just my presence. Oh, very creative and expressive. Also talented and said creative. Selfless enough to sacrifice for the greater good, yet love self enough to leave behind what doesn't serve. Bow. Divinely led, guided, very tapped into source and the unseen. Chose to come here at this time to help you, motherfuckers. I'm not from here, okay? I wasn't even supposed to be here. I chose to come here, so you're bloody welcome. Okay, let's see. Have lived many lives and gained many soul fam from many different galaxies and dimensions. If y'all could see my fucking spirit team, dude, you'd be like, what the fuck? Because it's not even just one. It's not even just one. It's not just the Arcturians B or Andromedans B or Pleiadians B. I got the Hindu gods, bro. I got the miraculous ability. We maintained a childlike innocence in view of life. Let's see. Innate ability to communicate with elementals and more folk, aka fairies and such. I am divinity, one with all that is, was, or ever will be, yes. On an extremely high vibrational timeline mission, willing and ready to forgive anyone for their sins. I don't really like that word, but work very closely with goddesses, God, past, present, future versions of self. Uncanny ability to know things I shouldn't. Very prophetic. One of the original prophets. Ooh, my favorite one. This last one. I've come here to Earth at each and every major moment for Earth/humanity, including the original creation of Gaia. Take that how you want to, but that's my truth. I remember it. I know what happened. And that's where a lot of my guilt actually comes from, if I'm so completely honest with you, because there was a group of us. Okay, I'm just gonna share this story really quick. You might think I'm crazy for this, but this is real. This is a real life past life regression that I had. It was me and a group of very, very high light beings. We didn't even have physical bodies, light beings, and we were in this it was like a circle kind of, but at certain points like a kind of like a crystal grid, except we were the crystals, right? Giant massive crystals, and we utilized both our own energy within our heart center, and also from our sun here and source spirit to come together, kind of like how on the Last Dragon, how they come together and they create that the dragon gem. We did that to create the Earth, Gaia herself, not humanity, Gaia. Okay, but something happened in the midst of that. There was a being. I'm just going to say how it is. There was a dragon being, a Draco being, who tricked me. They came to me and they said that they had this particular, like, different kind of way to channel the energy to create the being of Gaia. Okay, that's what it was, the being of Gaia. And so I trusted that being because where I come from, there isn't deceit. There is no trickery. And so I didn't know that was even a thing. And so I was tricked. And what really happened is that the Draco being started to siphon that energy. Gaia was still created, obviously, right? But yeah, it was the Draco who, even still to this day, are here in the reptilians, which Draco and reptilians are kind of, they come from the same similar place, that are here still feeding off the energy. But anyways, that's where a lot of my like embedded guilt comes from, is because I feel almost personally responsible that I allowed myself to be tricked, because I didn't have the tools to prevent from that. I didn't even know what trickery was, because where I come from, we're all connected to each other, and so you literally can't trick each other, because I can, like, we don't even speak words. It's just like intention and vibes, and that's how we communicate. And so you can't fucking trick somebody with that. So yeah, I for the longest time, and even still, am working on that guilt, and that's also why I have come here so many times at these pivotal moments for humanity, because I feel like it is my literal duty, since it's like my fault. It's not really, I know that now, but like my fault that things went astray, and that this isn't the heaven on earth that it was intended to be. Although it will be, okay, so just wait, because God's got a plan, alright? So then, sorry for that little tangent there, and if you don't believe me, that's perfectly fine. That's just a past life regression that I had, an insight that I had to my shadow of why I carry around this guilt for absolutely no reason, when I have such a pure heart and I don't hurt anybody, you know, on purpose. I don't have ill intentions, I don't have ill will. Very seldom do I even lie about things. But anyways, so then this next page I've got going on here, after I wrote this down and still thinking about this recent spout of jealousy that I felt, and I started to really think, what is jealousy? What even is this? Because I'm over here, I'm at this point where I'm like, I am one with source and we the people, like we're all one. So if we're all one and I'm tapped into that and the knowing of that and the feeling of that, how can I feel jealous? It just doesn't make sense to my mind why I'm feeling these feelings of jealousy if we're all one being, right? If we're all one consciousness. If who I'm looking at over there is me and I am that person too and we're all God, then where's the jealousy? What is this? So what I wrote is jealousy really inspiration? When I find myself feeling jealous, what does that mean? Jealousy is to be envious, which is to want what you perceive the other person to have that you do not. I'm gonna say that again. Jealousy is to be envious, which is to want what you perceive another to have that you currently do not. Okay? So, is what we call jealousy or envy not just a distorted lens of the energy of inspiration? If we are all one, and there is no one else to be envious of, we see in others what is already within ourselves, as above, so below, as within, so without. This is what I just wrote to myself. When I feel that pang of envy, I will choose to perceive that as divine inspiration to get that, whatever it is I'm feeling envious of, for myself, and or as an opportunity to show self-love for already possessing that trait to some extent in order to see it within them. We are only able to see in others what is already in ourselves. That's likes and dislikes. So when you're sitting there feeling envious about, oh, you know, like that person's so cool, they do this thing really cool, or they dress like this, like you're only seeing that and recognizing it because it's within you as well, at least the potential, aka serving as inspiration to allow yourself the creative freedom to do what they're doing or whatever. And also too, when we are triggered by somebody else, when we're feeling upset, when we're feeling like, oh my gosh, that person over there, they just need to do this, they always have this kind of problem going on, we're seeing that and recognizing that within them because it is present within ourselves. And it's so much easier for the human ego to perceive it in somebody else than it is to ourselves, right? At first, until you start shadow work, and then you're just like, oh, because I'm telling you guys, so many times, not very often do I find myself even speaking like that about other people, because I am very self-aware and unconditionally loving, and I don't judge. I really don't. Even when I'm pointing out something that's unhealthy or destructive or not good, not appropriate, I'm still loving. I'm still loving it. I'm not judging it. But so many times, almost any time actually, since I started shadow work, when I find myself like thinking or saying like, this person just needs to do this, or like this person continues to do this over and over again, like what's with that? And then I really sit with that for a second, every single time it resonates within myself. Every single time. There's not an exception. There's literally not an exception. Oh, where I'm like, damn, I kind of do that too. Or like, maybe I should take that advice too. Okay, so anyways, at the very bottom of that page, after I wrote down the jealousy inspiration, I decided I'm going to write down anytime I've noticed this phenomenon that I'm feeling jealous within myself, and kind of purposely redirect the lens of perception there to being inspired. Okay, so I wrote, I find myself feeling jealousy or envy when others are financially free and stable, women dance incredibly, Carnatic singers sing effortlessly, societal standards of beauty are met in other women, my lover shows interest in other women. I notice so many women like me, fit and healthy individuals, people with impeccable self-discipline, famous high-vibe singers, happy, healthy families, new moms with babies, indigenous tribe members, Hindi gurus, highly gifted psychics channels, yogis, monks, witchy YouTubers, oracles, saints, homeowners, intuitive dancers, divine union. And then what I did, let me see if I can, what I did, you could see, you can't actually read it, but you can see, I like highlighted or darkened the word, the focus be, the word or phrase that I'm feeling either inspired or choosing to recognize within self that's already present to some capacity. So, like free and stable, dancing, singing, beauty, my lover, fit and healthy, famous, happy family, babies, indigenous, yogis, YouTubers, these things. So essentially I'm just like reiterating to myself that these things are not outside of me that I'm wanting. right? Does that make sense? Like, if you feel yourself wanting and you're looking externally for this, that's when we find vices and unhealthy habits, because we're looking and we're searching and we're grasping. And you can do that forever and ever. Even if you have a lot of money, that's exactly why they say money does not buy happiness. Because just because you have a lot of money or a lot of things doesn't mean that you're fulfilled emotionally, right? Or that you're healed from your childhood woundings, okay? Or past life woundings. So ultimately, what we need to be doing is reaching within, right? Reaching within, realizing that every single one of these things, I have that within me. I know I do. Dance, I do that regularly. Sing every single day. Even if I'm not absolutely perfect, like, I don't do it to be. When I'm creating something or I'm expressing something in a creative way, I'm not doing it to be good at it. Although I would love to be good at it, of course, right? Like, it always feels good to be good at things. But I'm doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, when I'm singing, I sing because it feels good physically in my body to sing. Even though I've never been officially trained, I've had no kind of choreography classes or any such thing. My dancing is purely intuitive. It's purely what I feel like doing with my body in that moment, right? That was a lot. That was really a lot. But I'm almost near the very end. I've got 4 blank pages left for this sacred shadow, which I'm not rushing. I'm just allowing it to come to me each time as I'm needing it. And the other cool thing, where was it? Yeah, right here. So before I started that sacred shadow portion, I was still continuing on like my regular schmegular of these different rituals and things like this. I had just 2 pages left in between where this page, where this page started with that right there. That's where I wanted to do the sacred shadow. There was 2 blank pages left, and I'm like, well, that looks kind of not great. But I just completely got that filled up with this full moon today, and then there's one last right here, blank, and I've already got it planned. August 23rd, sacred day of Virgo. And I had a friend, one of my very best friends actually, she was a sister to me. Her birthday was August 23rd, the day of Virgo. She was a earth goddess, for real. She lost her life back in 2020, and so that is an extra special and sacred day for me now. And I find it very uncoincidental, very serendipitous that her birthday was on the day of switching from Leo to Virgo, on that cusp there. And she definitely embodied both. You could really see the Leo, you could really see the Virgo. And this was before I was even really super into the woo-woo. I was just still in my baby witch phase. So yeah, I'm gonna do something, I don't exactly know what yet that day, but that is going to be the very last page leading right up to this sacred shadow. And then I've only got a few pages left. I'm gonna have to get a new flippy book, you guys. I'll have to get a new one. That's not a bad problem to have, but no, that's actually so exciting. That feels like a milestone. That feels like a milestone or something for me to flippity create my whole entire first book of shadows. It's almost done. I'm very, very excited. I'm very happy. And also, Jay, for watching, I'm sorry for blocking you.